The fight to eradicate coronavirus from Lagos and by extension Nigeria is gathering momentum. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, while highlighting efforts of the federal and state governments in collaboration with international agencies, has expressed optimism that the nation would survive the epidemic and effectively contain the virus in no distant time. Welcome to the Governor This Week. I am Lekan Onabanjo. Chief Incident Commander for the Countermeasures Against Coronavirus Outbreak known as COVID-19 in Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has again reassured Nigerians that the state remains committed to every effort geared towards preventing the human-to-human transmission of the virus. The governor, who was accompanied by the Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, was speaking during his visit to the state-owned Biosecurity and Containment Facility at the Infectious Disease Hospital, Yaba, Lagos Mainland, where the Italian national diagnosed with COVID-19 is being managed.
In the last 1 hour, 1.5 hours, we are at the Biosecurity Lab of the Lagos State Government and also the Infectious Containment Isolation Facility of the government. And you've all seen it, where first we were briefed by the Deputy Incident Commander about the formation of everybody in the incident room, and it consists of various medical professionals of various disciplines that are relevant, at incidents like this, both national, both international, and also both regional. So it's all very complementary. Also with security operatives, all of them are there communicating with one another and exchanging information, and they know how the level of scalability they need to get, in their information gathering, and analysis. I'm indeed very happy with the level of professional commitment that we've seen by our professionals, men and women at this facility. As you can see, the facility has been completely well refurbished, brand new. So what it meant was that the state government had been preparing for this long before now, and as also as a demonstration, my deputy and I had to go into the suit, the PPE suit, which I can tell you it's not very comfortable. So honestly, these professionals, they need to be commended, they need to be appreciated. We need to continue to pray with them and for them. But more importantly is also that we've just gone around our biosecurity lab, which is second to none in Africa. It's in collaboration with the Canadian government, and I'm excited with what I've seen. It's a facility that has even 4 levels of power. 4 levels of power. It has a solar. The roof you're seeing is all 60 kVA solar panel, right? It has an inverter. It has its own standby generator. It also is on the grid, right? So you can see it's a facility that light certainly should not go, and the level of research and analysis, laboratory activity that is going on there, it's comparable to anywhere in the world, right? And they're working in a very, very safe and secure environment. The staff there, and they're working in a controlled environment, but it's also very, very safe. There are biosecurity experts there. There are professionals of international repute all working in there, right? And so we've seen things for ourselves, right? And so one of the things that is happening is that as events unfold, we will be informing the gentlemen of the press, and I want to just continue to assure Lagosians and Nigerians in general that we're hoping that all of this will fly and get behind us very quickly. But in the event that we need to deal with it, we're ready. We have all the machinery, we have all of the skills here to be able to deal, with it at this level. But we'll continue to advocate. I'll continue to scale up our advocacy. Tomorrow, next tomorrow, all various stakeholders that need to be aware the communication will pass on to them. And really for all of us is really to take away, what we keep talking about, which is your personal hygiene. Both personal and environmental hygiene It's about time where we take all of these things very, very, very seriously. It becomes a part of our life. It's not when we have incident like this or crisis like this that we begin to learn how to wash our hands, how to keep a safe, secure environment, and how to live healthy. It goes with everything. People that have developed immunity against these things are people that are continue to live well, eat well, and live in a very safe and secure environment. So really is really for you to help us push it around to our citizens that they should remain calm. We will continue to do everything that is expected of us as government, both human and resources that is required, for all our professionals here. We will continue to provide for them. We'll continue to make this place as comfortable. It's a tough one, but as comfortable as possible for them, so that they can do this very difficult job at this point in time of our life. And we're praying, that this will pass over us too very quickly, and we'll all continue to live our life well again. We have 100 bed there. You see, there's an association Ward 1, Ward 2, or 3, and in the event that it even scaled up, we even have tents, that we can immediately deploy. And outside of that, we also have containment in 5 of our big general hospitals that we're going to be preparing, in the event that we just have a wider number of patients that we need to deal with. And so we're indeed very ready. And we do the testing here. And just also to say that we're collaborating all this with the federal government. The National Disease Control, all their personnel are here, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and African Union, and some of our international donor agencies all are here working with us.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has revealed plans to partner with the private sector in the bid to transform the education sector of the state in line with his theme's agenda. The governor made the disclosure during a public-private partnership dialogue organized by the State Ministry of Education with the theme, Creating a Better Future Through Education.
What are we doing this year? From 65 billion budget, we put a budget of 136 billion this year. Just for all of you to know that we're putting our money where we believe our mouth is. 136 billion. Out of that 136 billion, we're hoping that we will have a minimum of about 80% budget performance. So she has that responsibility to drive all of the policy, all of the needs of that ministry for us to have the performance. But what have we done? Today is 2nd of March. So we've commissioned to build a total of, as we speak, about 60,000 chairs and tables. We're hoping that we'll wrap it up to about 100,000 before the end of the year. We're pushing infrastructure in about 300 schools this year. We started with the first set of about 60. They came to cabinet meeting last week. We were in cabinet meeting the week before. We set up a whole new unit called School Rehabilitation and Infrastructure Development. We set up a whole unit just to face school rehabilitation and redevelopment, and they're working with the ministry on that. Like she said, we have recruited a little over 3,000 teachers already. And so the salary and all of that number will also come in the budget for the year. We've also done a few things. She talked about the Eco Excel, which is the first time we're actually doing a direct collaboration with SUBEB. Right? And if you know the structure, I'm sure you all know, they are under the real ambience of the local government, but we're not leaving it for the local government. We said to ourselves that from the very first day that the early primary education is critical because they are the feeders to what happened in the secondary and the university. So we need to enter that primary school. And that's why we're collaborating with SUBEB. We're believing and are hoping that in the course of this year, not only would we be refurbishing all of these 300 schools, that we talked about, we'll also be looking at how we improve the learning environment, of course, with infrastructure, but also the welfare of the teachers. The welfare of the teachers and all of the things that we need to do. I said to them when we were launching the Eco Excel that I want to make sure that my teachers get their benefits whilst they work, not when they retire, not when they get to heaven. So I said to them that I want to give 20 teachers that are the best amongst our 20 local government a brand new car. And I'm keeping my promise. And I'm glad to say that Mrs. Koiki is going to lead that panel because I've signed that file. They will go through a panel very, very quickly in 1 month or a month and a half, such that we can show them as examples. And that becomes, you know, a motivation for it. It will be self-motivated. It will now be a competition amongst all of them to see how very quickly we can raise the bar and make sure that we love these kids, these pupils that we're teaching, and we can show a lot of empathy when we stand in front of class. And we've said that this is not for TGPS, these are for classroom teachers, just to support and encourage them. The Honorable Commissioner also said something, you know, and that's one of the things that we've said we're going to do. How are we going to put, you know, teachers' accommodation in schools? And we're looking at the design and want to start with a pilot, you know, ensure that before the end of the year that we'll push some accommodation, like have doctors' quarters in hospitals. We want to see how we'll put teachers' quarters, you know, in schools. We growing up, especially for people that went to secondary schools, that went to boarding schools, you always have school. Yeah, we always have them in schools and house masters and house princesses and vice principals and all of. They always live with us. So let's also make attempt and do the same, so that their commute time, you know, the turnaround time for them will be a lot shorter, and they can have a lot more commitments to work. We have a cabinet that is digital savvy now. You could see Mrs. Adifai touching the touchscreen. We actually have an interactive board, and when as cabinet members you are not around, and which we have tested, we actually can connect you anywhere and you can still give us a report. We are going paperless in our cabinet. Everybody has a screen in which we are also monitoring, you know, ourselves, and we can, you know, that's the same kind of things we want to take to our children, to our school, and we're together, right? The screens we have given us, we'll put it to good use. But I've taken the point that that is the way to go. And part of the things that I'm also taking away, we need to do some of those containerized or some kind of new classrooms, you know, technology where, you know, the kind of thing you see. You know, I was in another office the other day and I saw the camera and I'm saying, wow. So I will work with you and we will design one just so that we can show the classroom of the future what they should certainly begin to look like. We are, in my view, on a journey that all of us can see a better educational system, educational policy being churned out by all of you working with us. The partnership that she had laid out this morning, I believe that there are real partnerships that can be of engagement, that can be very constructive, and that can be measuring. This is a partnership that we all can ask ourselves at end of the year, we can come together again and see where have we done those partnerships, what are we doing with the support, what are you doing with the support we've given you, and where, you know, based on our own research, where we can review and strengthen some of those partnerships. You know, the Eco Excel, which we're so truly proud of, that started, is with collaboration with Subeb. We believe it's just be one of the channels, very, very starting channels of scaling up the capacity at primary schools. There's also another conversation we're looking at for the public secondary schools, which I'm sure in another 1 month or so will be finalized. Okay, Mr. Ario is clapping. That will be finalizing, just so that we don't leave anybody, you know, behind. I'm making sure that I have touched all of the things that I noted. But just to assure all of you that for us and for the sector, it's critical to us. It's not just critical to us that we mentioned that another economic agenda is the third point, which is education and technology. It's critical based on the amount of resource we want to put to that sector. It's critical based on the amount of time we want to devote to that sector. And it's only when we do that that we can, in fact, play our own role at ensuring that the future of those children is guaranteed and we are not put, you know, on the cry line. I said that you had the opportunity, you had the chance to change those narratives, you did not do anything, right? And I can assure you that this sector is something that I continue to hold very dear to my heart, and all of you have access, as much of you have access to me one-on-one, and let's push it. The opportunities are there. Dangote is going to recruit 70,000 Lagosians, Nigerians when the factory starts, and they need all of this technical staff. Let's just go resolve the curriculum, ask them what they want. And she said to me that, Governor, 95% of everybody coming out of our school have a job already before they fit. So we just need to scale up the capacity that we have there, and let's collaborate with a lot more organizations if we need to widen and increase the school so that we can get a lot more people in, and the training and the things that is required can be better. Right? These are some of the things I'll just share with them, and whilst we're sitting here. Just to say that I'm hoping that this sector will be one of the sectors that at the end of my 4-year tenure, which I've done 278 days, like 279 days, like I said, that all of you will truly be proud of.
Achieving a Greater Lagos agenda is predicated on creating a responsive public service that will serve the interest of the people and bring about purposeful development. And so the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu called on all elected public officials in the state to close ranks and leverage on partnership in order to enhance quality of governance and raise the bar of service delivery to the people. The governor said this while declaring discussions open at the 15th Executive and Legislative Parley organized by the Lagos State government.
What we are seeking to achieve at the end of the day is for us to have an harmonious working relationship. Each and every one of us here are various stakeholders in the conversation of a Greater Lagos. Both our members in Abuja, both our honorable members in the House of Assembly, and both the executive running the cabinet, and of course our advisors, our leaders who at one point in time or the other too have occupied this position either in a legislative or an executive capacity. For all of us to review and jaw together, we will have very frank conversation. We will also have very objective criticism and analysis of how government and governance has been in Lagos, and how we can continue to collaborate between the executive arm of government and the legislative arm of government to ensure that at the end of the day, it is for the Greater Lagos. It is a working relationship that brings about popular people development. Governance will be seamless for our people, and we'll be able to, at the end of the day, have a progressive governance. We will have a progressive and each-free understanding of ourselves. Whilst we realize that roles are different, whilst we realize that responsibilities are different, but when we bring ourselves together like this and we'll iron out and we'll resolve, if there are any contentious issues or if there's any clarification, we need to give ourselves. These are the kind of opportunity where we'll have it. And at the end of the day, our citizens who have elected us or who have appointed us in one form or the other are the beneficiaries at the end of the day. At the end of the day is to be able to bring about positive quality governance, representation at the highest level of our people, where people will feel the dividends of democracy, where people will see that Lagos will continue to bring about purposeful development at all spheres. And whatever is also critical for us in Abuja, our members of House of Representatives are here. They'll be able to take those information back. They will also be able to explain to us what are the critical issues that they are also facing in Abuja. So it makes governance in itself seamless. It makes governance, a win-win situation for all of us at that various levels. And of course, politically too, for our party to be able to remind us that these were the promises we promised Lagosians, and that you should not forget that these were the party manifesto. These were the things we told Lagosians we were going to do. And Mr. Governor, your cabinet, House of Assembly, how are you people faring in all of this conversation? So we believe that at the end, all of us will be better enriched, will be better geared, will be better motivated to go out there and deliver all the dividends of democracy, be it at the representational level at legislative, be it also at the execution level at the executive, and we'll continue to ensure that we foster a working relationship, understanding that everybody has a role to play, and giving each and every one of us the deserving respect and opportunity for everybody to be able to do well and play their role in the governance and in the greater Lagos conversation that we keep talking about.
This year's Executive Legislative Party has been described as one that gives much attention to ways both the executive and legislative arms of government can complement each other towards delivering the true dividends of democracy to Lagos residents. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said this while addressing pressmen at the end of the 15th two-day party with the theme Harmonious Relationship Among Various Arms of Government, a Necessity for a Greater Lagos.
There's been a communique that has been issued which will help us be able to advance some of the points and some of the issues that have been raised amongst ourselves. But really more is for us to note that it's been 2 days of real engagement. It's been 2 days of frank and very objective conversation. It's been 2 days of ideas being shared and thoughts at various levels being put on the table. And it's been 2 days of relationship and bond building between different levels of government. But more importantly, for each one of us, knowing fully well that we're on the same line of delivering the dividends of democracy to our people, but also understanding that we have different roles to play and how we can complement everybody's role at ensuring that at the end of the day, we all look better for our citizens, and we all look good at our relevant jobs. And what do I mean? We were able to take objective comments from our House of Assembly members on how we can better foster our relationships. We're also heavily informed and advice were given from our members in the National Assembly on best practices and how we can also build harmonious working relationship between the legislative and the executive. And on the executive side too, is also for them and for us to understand what the requirements of our legislative counterparts is what their requirements are, just so that at the end of the day, right, proper and good governance can be delivered to our citizens. And that's the really major takeaways of the last 2 days. But I think we will wind up by saying that we're lucky in Lagos. We're lucky because we also have political leadership that are in tune with us. Our political leadership at various levels were also with us, and counsel and advice were given to us. One, from their own wealth of experience, because some of them have also walked this path before, but more importantly, giving us real responses from our citizens, from their various communities, of what is expected of us and how we need to engage them going forward. So these are all synopses of what has happened from our leadership side, from our legislative side, also from the executive side. What people see at the end of the day is what the executive, what they put forward, is what the executive execute based on the laws that have been passed and based on the policies that have been initiated. And at the end of the day, we see a win-win situation. We're indeed happy that in the last 2 days, the contribution has been excellent and everybody stood back. There has been extensive negotiation and engagement, right? And we all have, everybody sat back and we spoke to ourselves, and we're indeed happy with all of the recommendations and all of the outputs that have come out. What Lagosians will expect at the end of the day, at the end of this conversation, is they will see quicker and faster dispensation in, one, our ability to be able to do things quicker and faster with the understanding of the legislators, and also our legislators faster and quicker in their dispatch of their own responsibility, anything coming from the executive. So it's a full win-win situation, and we're indeed happy, and we also want to commend the gentlemen of the press too for staying with us in the last 2 days.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration constantly shows commitment to delivering quality education and healthcare services to residents in Lagos State. This is by increasing the budgetary allocation of the education sector and partnering with the government at the center to end the deadly COVID-19 scourge in the country. And that's it on the Governor this week, but then you can continue with conversations of the governor's activities on all the social media platforms showing on your screen. Until next week, I am Lekan Onabanjo.